This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush, with the head coach of the Manchester Blue Devils, Coach Evan Hochstetler. Coach, thank you again for your time this week, as always.
Thank you.
So you guys, you came off of a loss a couple weeks ago against Columbus High School, but you bounced back and you got a win this weekend. How was practice today going in, knowing that you guys were back on track, getting 2-2 on the season?
It helped today that it's overcast and the temperature is just about right for high school football. But the kids came out and we competed today. We had a physical go at it today. We had some learning as far as X's and O's, what they can expect in the coming week against Northeast Macon. But the kids came in, they got after it. Before I came over to the show, we were in the film room reviewing what we did right and what we did wrong against Mitchell County, and we're trying to correct the things before we get into region play.
How was, before we get into the details of the game and such, how is the team doing as far as injuries and stuff? I know that last week you were doing pretty good. How are they going into this week?
Well, I think the injury bug might have knocked on the door at our field house this past weekend. We had a couple kids to go down. Fortunately for us, it's nothing that's going to prolong their playing time. They may be out a couple of days in practice. We may have a few kids that may spot play a little bit more than they're probably used to playing more, but have to spot play. But we just have to see how the week progresses as far as their injuries.
Going on in the game now, the defensive side of the ball looked like that they were playing a pretty good ball game. But talk about the challenges of facing an offense like Mitchell County. Of course, they ran out of the shotgun. They did some read option, did that kind of stuff. But what challenge did y'all face this Friday night against Mitchell County?
I tell you what, Mitchell County, they're really big up front. They did a good job coming off the ball. They got on the bus from Mitchell County, came up here. They wanted to compete. So anytime you go against an offensive line or a football team that wants to compete, they can't give you trouble. Like I said, they're big up front. They had a running back, number 23, that had a couple good runs against us and had a QB that could run it a little bit. But they lined up and they said, we're going to be physical with you if you can be physical back. And I'm proud of our defense. Takeaway, I think the first series, and about 5 minutes after that, I thought our defense started waking up and they were answering the bell a lot better than they have in weeks past.
Yeah, it did seem like that they got off to a very fast start, but you guys did get zoned in and make some good plays, and you guys forced some turnovers, and definitely a good thing to see from that team, especially in the ground game. You guys forced a fumble early in that ball game. Tell us a little bit about that turnover.
I thought on that play we did a pretty good job at the point of the attack. The defense player that made the contact that forced a fumble was C. Brown. He's number 22. He's a senior. He did get blocked at the initial part of the play. However, we've been preaching the last couple of weeks in practice to not give up on the play. Everybody has to get to the ball, and he did not give up on the play. He fought through the block, and he attacked the running back and forced a fumble. And that's one of those opportunities for him to either lay down or rise to the occasion. I'm glad that he did not give up on that play.
Yeah, he made several plays in that football game, and early on in that game when they tried to do some screen passes and such like that,
yes,
he came up and made some very good tackles for you guys.
Yes, there's one time they gave us twins to both sides, and they like to do the, I call it the Tony Franklin stuff, where they throw the bubble screens and the one screens, and they're trying to hit the number 2 guy on a 2 screen, and C. Brown reacted to the play. He did not hesitate. He played fast, so he did his key. He did his job, and then after that, he let his athletic ability to take over the play. So he coached what to do. He did a job on his own. He did a great job, made the tackle.
Yeah, and Brown had a good ball game, and it seemed like the guys were doing a very good job of getting together and making some gang tackles.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually one specific one when him and John Ferguson made a good tackle in the backfield. It seemed like that pumped up the guys and really helped that defense spurt along a little bit.
It did. That was in the first half. Coach Turner dialed up a blitz at that particular time. I think the play before we put him in like a second or third and long. I have to go back and look at the film. But both Ferguson and C. Brown came up the middle, and they look good doing that. And I think we're getting better in that department.
And you can tell you guys are maturing on the defensive side of the ball, and you guys have been there all year, especially in the passing game. And it looked like you got 2 more interceptions this week, and it seems like that trend is going on each week for that
Yes,
pass defense.
we actually dropped one, but Magruder did pick up an interception early in the game. He's one of our corners. Him and Preacher Man are our corners, and Little Bell plays the free safety spot. And they're getting better each game. They're getting very comfortable, and that's a testimony to the coaching staff. It's nothing to do with me, Coach Daughtry, the secondary coach that came from Central Carroll. He played at Carrollton High School. He's doing an outstanding job coaching up the DBs. We're very blessed to have him as a role model and as a coach in our school system. But they're getting better each game. It's a compliment to the kids and a secondary coach. But Magruder came up with an interception, and Little Gamble came up with one at the end of the game.
Yeah, talk a little bit about Little Gamble's play, including that interception, but it seemed like that he was just doing a very good job when y'all needed it the most of getting pressure on the quarterback late in that ball game.
Yes, Little Gamble's coming to his own. He was not sure earlier this summer how involved he was going to be. I know before the dead week he was on and off about coming to workouts. Then after the first week in July, he started buying in a little bit. Then as a freshman, it gets tough when you put the pass on him. You're not used to going up against 17, 18-year-old student athletes. And so he kind of flatlined a little bit. Then the last couple of weeks, he's come into his own. He's improving so much. I cannot say enough good things about this student athlete. He's doing the right things in the classroom. He's behaving in the classroom. He comes to the field house. He puts on his shoulder pads and helmet, and he wants to get out there. And he's starting to play outside linebacker a lot more. And I think the coaching staff's getting comfortable with him playing that position. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to, as long as he wants to play and wants to learn, we're going to give him every opportunity he deserves. And he made 2 big plays. Coach Turner had a stun on, and he went after the quarterback. If he knows what he's doing, he's very tough to stop.
And that's what you want on defense, is to be number one, fast and physical, but you want it to be simple so that these guys can understand it and just go out and just play ball and go hit them.
He's doing a great job. He's got a very good high school football career to look forward to. As a freshman, sometimes you have to be careful about throwing too much at him. You don't want to say you're playing offense, defense, and all these special teams. And so we kind of backed off a little bit as far as what he's taking on mentally. We're working him outside linebacker, and he's starting to run down a little bit more on kickoffs, and also he's playing a little bit more on like punt returns and punt. So he's doing a good job.
Talk a little bit about Anthony Bell. You know, he's known as an offensive player for you guys, and in the past, you know, last year he played a lot of offense. But talk about his development on defense as one of the leaders on that defensive side of the football.
He's getting better in that department. Obviously, he's a very good-looking body out there. He got good size, good height. He's got pretty good speed for a high school football player. He's starting to understand what it takes to be an outside linebacker. There's still a few things that he has to correct. I know a few times he gave up his outside shoulder, or we call opening the gate, where he went upfield too much and left a big opening. But he's improving. He's got a nose for the football. As long as he does his job at the point of the attack, then all of a sudden he reacts to the ball, we're fine. So he's just got to do his job and find the ball. He did that a couple of times Friday night.
If there was anything on defense that you would like to see the guys do a little bit better coming into the next few weeks, what would that one thing be for your team?
Right now, we need improvement on the defensive line. I know you can never have a defensive line that doesn't improve enough, but we got some defensive tackles. Both of them are sophomores, so and they're doing a good job. Is D. Jackson and J.T. Waller. They're out of say 10 plays, they do a great job on 4 or 5 of them. Then they may do an okay job on a couple. Then they don't do their job. So we need their play to be every single play. They're getting better, and we just got to perform a little bit better on the defensive line. We're still trying to find a defensive end on our strong side. Right now it's a competition between Ditson, he's a senior, and T.J. Dozer, which is another sophomore. And we told both student athletes this is a spot that's still wide open. It's non-region play, so we still got competition on the defensive line. So they're battling out that spot. A bright spot would be Quay Mahone. He's a sophomore. He's getting better each week, and he's playing a pretty good spot at that defensive line.
And it's a good point that you just made about before going into region play, you can use that to get those friendly competitions going to strengthen those guys, make your team better.
Yeah, we definitely got some competition going.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Coach, we talked about the defensive side of the ball. Now let's move to the offensive side of the ball and the wing tee and talk a little bit about the run game. It seemed like it was a little bit of a slow start for you guys, but overall it did. The wear and tear of that offense, it did wear down on Mitchell County, and you guys did get some success there late in the ball game.
Yes, unfortunately, we did start out very slow. It's a lot of it's assignment responsibility for not being taken care of, and the other half of it, we were just not. We didn't have the fire in our gut or our belly, however you want to say it, to really come off and attack the defensive line and linebackers. I was a little disappointed as a play caller. It's hard sometimes calling plays when we're not firing off and doing our jobs. But fortunately, we got them in halftime, and we took. I never done this before, but we took our starting 11 offensive guys and just kind of put them in another room, and we had the coaches in there. We had a good little talk, if you want to put it that way, and they responded pretty good. They came out in the second half, and we get after it a lot better in the second half than we did the first half. We're still missing assignments right now.
Big thing with the wing tee offense, or any offense for that matter, execution is where you need to be, and,
yes.
and it makes an offense go. And if you don't have that, it really just slows you down a little bit.
It slows you down big time. And in our system, fortunately, we will not be in that same situation next year in 2 or 3 years down the road.
You talked about at halftime when you guys came out, you did have that good, strong drive. It started with that sweep play with Gamble that really got them going down in the second half, down on the left sideline.
Yes, Gamble, I tell you what, he's a hard-nosed runner. He didn't have a big night as far as number of yards or touchdowns, but he had a tough night. I really love this kid. He doesn't complain. He goes out and does his job. He actually had a pretty good night blocking, and he had a couple good runs that really set up other stuff. So Gamble did an outstanding job.
And it seems like you guys got, we talked about that rotating the running backs and stuff like that. There's a lot of talent there and a lot of young talent. And Ashton Bell had a pretty good ball game for you guys in that we call him Little Bell, but he had a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, Little Bell had a good game running the ball. He's got to step it up as a blocker. We pointed that out on film a couple hours ago, but he understands that. He wants to get better. He ran the ball a couple times we call it jet, and you can call it jet sweep or whatever you want to call it, but he had a couple good runs on that, and obviously Big Gamble was blocking for him in front, and he had I know you're going to show it on film, but he had a run that on the G Power that reminded me of my Bowden running backs. The way it's a butt sweep play where he made the L drill, went in and went out. That play made me happy just because it reminded me of some Bowden players I have, and that's the type of runs that we're going to see, and the Manchester community is going to see more and more when our running backs get comfortable in this offense. It's not a situation where we can just throw a kid out and say, okay, just run butt sweep. This is how you do it, and we can teach it all day long. But when you get out there when it's live and it's full speed and the guards are pulling in front of you, one is kicking out, the other one's folding back in. It's a different atmosphere, and it's going to take some time. Big Gamble and Little Bell, they're showing some promise. They're doing a great job, and the great thing about both of them, they're yes sir, no sir kids. They do the right things, and they're coming back next year.
It's a good thing to have when you have those young guys that can develop the system in and make it a staple
Yes.
for you guys. And Anthony Bell is going to be a part of that. And he had a good touchdown down at the goal line in that ball game as well.
Yes, Anthony Bell did an outstanding job this past Friday running behind his pads a lot better. I know we had some issues with that earlier in the year. There's a couple of fourth and short or third and short that he did not run behind his pads like he should have. But he did a great job. He's a senior. He's buying into the offense. He's a leader. He's a cowbell. We're going to give him the ball a bunch of times a game. He may not have 200, 300 yards, but in our offense, the fullback has to have a big role, and he's doing an outstanding job. But he did have a couple good runs all over the field. I know he made a good catch on the waggle play, but at the goal line, he did a much better job running behind his pads.
And just, I mean, for the offense to go, the running backs are the staple for this offense, but you have to have a quarterback that can get the ball to him. And Garrett Brown did a very good job, not only in the run game, but he did a great job throwing the ball Friday night.
Yes, Garrett had a really good game. He had a great second half and not so great in the first half. I know we had a couple fumble between the center and the QB, and there's 2 times that he might have opened up wrong and did the wrong play. And there's one pass that he should have got out the preacher. But Garrett, I tell you what, he's a good kid. He takes in the coaching. He has sometimes it seems like he's got ice running through his veins because he's nice, relaxed, and calm. And instead of just folding his tent and saying, I cannot get any better, I'm not going to have a good second half, he worked through the adversity and came out in the second half, had an outstanding second half. I know he threw a touchdown pass in the first half, but his second half performance was really good.
And in that first half, that touchdown he did have to DeMarcus Addy across the middle, that was a 4th down play down there at the goal line, and that was a crucial thing that if you don't get points there, it could be a different ball game.
It could be a real different ball game. He was nice and comfortable. All we did is run the slant and run the arrow, the short out. He had one man to read. He read the outside linebacker. The outside linebacker went for the out, and Preacher man came on the slant. And he threw a very catchable ball. Preacher caught it. So that's one thing Garrett understands when he's throwing to some of our athletes like Little Bell, Magruder, and Preacher man. If he throws a catchable ball, good things are probably going to happen.
You call him Preacher Man. He has been answered to prayer so far, I think,
Yes.
so far in this season.
Yes.
He had a couple good catches, of course, as he has all year. And he had that fade route in the corner that really did a great job in the second half of pulling you guys away a little bit.
Yes, he made a good catch. He went out, went up and caught the ball. The ball might have been a little bit short, but, again, it's a catchable ball. And anytime you want to throw it to Preacher Man, you want to make sure he has the opportunity to catch the ball. He did a good job catching that. I know early in the year we've been stretching the field vertically with him deep. And we made a point this past Friday as the coaching staff to throw some short stuff to him. I know he caught a hitch route one time. We tried to throw another hitch, and it was incomplete. He caught a slant route and caught the hitch and go for the touchdown. So we're working on the complete passing game with him, the short game, the intermediate game, and the vertical stuff. So he's catching everything. I know this year he's caught some slants, hitches, fades, the out route, the post, and he's doing it all.
And when you have a player like that on the outside, it's almost tempting to drop a safety to get 2 guys on him. And when you do that, it opened it up later in the ball game for Little Bell to catch one on the sideline down on the west side during that
Yes,
ball game.
and that's another big play. We just ran the wheel behind the slant. Obviously, teams want to pay attention to our receiver when it's Preacher Man, and Preacher went inside. The corner didn't bite all the way, but he bit long enough to let Bell kind of get behind him, and it was another great throw, a good catch, and that's what we preach: just pitch and catch, and good things happen.
And it seems like the offensive line did a very good job of just giving them enough time to get that ball out, and they actually pass blocked pretty well this week.
They did a good job pass blocking. It does help your QB's 6 foot sits and sees over the protection, so that made things go a lot better.
And the passing game, again, we've talked about it. You know, the wing tee is designed to run to be the main source of your offense and stuff like that. But it seems like that pass game has gotten some respect. That way it could open up the run a little bit more, and you know it's always there. It's been a good production for you guys.
Yeah, obviously we're going to have to stretch the field vertically. We're going to have to throw it to the sidelines and throw it over the middle. The passing game complements our running game, and the running game complements our passing game, and we got to blend it together. And I know last year when I was coordinator at Bowden, we went 4 games. We didn't throw a pass, but we also in those 4 games we had 400. We averaged about 450 yards running a game, and this year with our personnel at Manchester, we have the opportunity. We would like to be in between 100 and 150 yards passing, and that's a very comfortable number with us. We would like to throw it close to 10 times a game, but we are a running team. However, the passing game really helps out the running game.
So a lot of positives over the weekend for the offense in the second half. But if there was a one thing, specific thing you could point out to the guys that you wanted to get better at on offense coming into the next few weeks, what would that be?
We got to have better offensive line play, especially from our guards. Our guards are so crucial in our offense. They're always pulling, and when they're not pulling, when we have a nose man, we always try to chip the nose man, make sure he doesn't stun in our face, and we did not do a good job. But our guard play's got to get better. We're fortunate that the guys that we're looking at guards, they're all guys that want to play. They're getting better. They just got to put everything together. They're hard-nosed. I know one of them's a senior, Jimmy Lee Rose. He gets after it pretty hard. And I'll be honest with you, if we had him in our system for 4 years, he'll probably be one of the better guards in the region. And he's got that much talent as far as his feet and his body size, and he's getting better each game. We just got to make sure he keeps improving.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show with Coach Hochstetler. So, Coach, that win's behind us. You got the 2-2 record back to 500, and you have one more non-region game before we get into the region schedule, and that's the guys, the Raiders, down in Macon, Northeast.
Yes, they're. I tell you what, they're a very dangerous team. On film, they are very explosive. They have a tailback and a QB that I'm not sure we have anybody that can run as fast as them on our football team, and they do a lot of things offensively. They run the wing tee, or try to run the wing tee. They run the pro set against the pro eye, and they run the spread. So our defense has a big challenge of containing 2 very athletic skill guys, and they also have a challenge as far as alignment in their assignments, because they may give you wing T set, then they give you a spread set, then turn around and give you a pro I. So they're all over the place as far as formations. So again, our secondary's got to keep improving. We got Little Bell in the middle. He's got to recognize and make the calls, and we should be okay.
Talk a little bit about what we can expect from their defensive side of the ball. I know, as we say every week, the wing T, there's different styles that people use to face them, but what do they usually run, and what can we expect this week?
You know, they're odd front. Just looking at them on film, they're a 3-3 stack or a 3-5, or you can even call it a 5-3, whatever you want to call it. But they're an odd front. I tell you what, they cause trouble by getting upfield and getting destructive in your backfield. They run fast to the ball. They like to hit, and they can give us fits if we allow them to give us fits. But like I told our guys today, we got to get on the bus and go to Macon and do a job. We're not going down there and get to play a little football game. We're going down there to get better, do a job, win the football game, get on the bus, and come back. And that's the only things we want to do. I told the guys today, I felt, just looking at them on film, they played Shaw, they played Upson Lee. Those are two higher classification schools. Not only that, both of them are very, very athletic football teams. And Upson Lee is probably one of the better coached teams in the state of Georgia. So they kind of got beaten down on the scoreboard the last couple of weeks. I did not see any give up in them. They kept playing. And they probably have a circle on their schedule as a game they can win, just because we're a lower classification school. So we're going to go down there. It may be their Super Bowl. They're going to play sky high, and they're going to get after it. It's just one of those things in high school football. Sometimes those teams, they circle 2 or 3 teams on the schedule and say, we have to win these games, or we may not have a good year. And that may be the case this weekend. We got to go down there. We got to play.
And you guys, you played one game in a neutral site, of course, with Charlton County. Mm-hmm. But you guys are 0-2 on the road. Mm-hmm. It seems like, how important is it to get a road victory this weekend?
It's important. It's important as a mentality of this football team. We got to be able to leave the school building, go to the locker room, get changed into our shorts and shirt, get on the bus, eat our pregame meal, and go to the game. And I say that we're doing that, but we have to do it in a sense of attitude that this is a job. This is representing the community of Manchester. We got a lot of people in this community that support the football program. I call them old dogs. We got a lot of old dogs that played here in the 90s, played here in the 80s, 70s, and so forth. And they look at these young men, and they want to see the hard-nosed Manchester football team that the state of Georgia knows Manchester for. And we as a group, we have to do our job Friday. And that's not just making the plays. I tell the kids all the time, what goes around comes back around. How you behave in the classroom, how you behave in the hallways, and what you do on the streets or at home, that's going to come around. And if you're not doing the right things, that will negatively affect your outcome on Friday nights, because if you're not doing your job in the classroom, you're probably not going to do that great a job on Friday night. It comes around. So this week we have to take a business-like approach. I told the kids that we have to do our job. We have to win every day this week, not just Friday. We got to win tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and get on the bus and take care of business.
I think that'll do it. We're right at 28. We got a couple commercials we can slide in, so I think that may be enough material for this week.
Okay.
So I'll just do a close real quick and we'll stop, and I'll get Jamie to stop it. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in each week for the lowdown on all the Blue Devil football news.
Thank you for watching the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Brought to you by Manchester Farm, Garden, and Hardware and JT Signs. Join Coach Huck Stetler and your host JJ Hush next week as they continue to review and preview all the Blue Devils football games right here on Mountain Vision. This is Mountain Vision.